Greetings, folks. Welcome to a cemetery channel. I'm a Florida Golden Girl, your host. Today's travel adventure takes us to Windermere, Florida. Folks, today we're going to be taking a walk through nature. We're going to be taking a look at Windermere Recreation Center. Now, I've always said that there is a rule of thumb for those that live in rich folk area and those that don't. And the green spaces here are plentiful, more than where I live. And this is just one where it's just so clean. And the Windermere police are always out here making sure everything is good. It's got a nice children's play area. Believe it or not, it's got clean bathrooms. And this is the star of the show's favorite place depicted. He bugs me all the time about wanting to come out here, and what we'll do is we'll grab some food and come out here and just kind of like appreciate nature and walk around a little bit. But Windermere Recreation Center really is a cute place to check out. There are there are walking trails, there's tennis courts in the background. This is the place where we've always kind of aspired to want to live. The town of Windermere, it's a safe area. There's a major police presence in the area. Lots of wealthy people live here. No, we are not wealthy by any means. But just because you're not wealthy doesn't mean that you can't find the means to live here. So we hope that it's a place where we can move to as well. And the reason why I say that, it's long been my sidekick's dream, the star of the channel's dream, to move here. But the problem is that where I live, and once again, I'm gonna have to give y'all a tour. They're building an apartment building. On the road where we reside, I counted 12 different apartment buildings. And what happens is the apartment buildings, we live right near two schools, elementary school and a high school. When you have parents that bring in families, it's the teenagers that start to cause the problems. And they're feral. A lot of them that live around where we are, they're feral. I'm not saying every child is feral, but these particular kids are. They come in neighborhoods, terrorize the neighbors. It's the e-scooters and the e-bikes where, I'm sure you've heard it and have seen it for yourself, where these kids, they're just out of control and the parents won't do nothing about it. And if they've got money, all they do is just write it off. And so that's why we figured this would be a place where we could move to, because it's more, trying to think of a word, more respectable, more, the kids are very well mannered. Not saying they're not feral, but a lot of them, when you're raised right, it's a big difference. You don't necessarily have to come from money, because the parents take more of an active stance on how their kid is raised. They're very proactive in making sure they're always there. And so you see them, there's lots of activities in Windermere. They do rowing, they do tennis, they do horseback riding, all the little rich folk type activities that go on. But it's just a place we've desired to move to for a long time, and it's becoming more of a reality that we're going to have to give up where we live in order to have some peace and quiet, because once that apartment building is built, they're going to come in the neighborhood and start problems, because I see it all over the place. Anyway, you didn't come here to hear this nonsense, so let's go check out the area. There he is, folks, the star of the channel. It's the star, formerly known as my sidekick. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the people?
I'm just eating right now, so caught me by surprise. So we're at the Windermere Park. It's a beautiful place. It's a conservative city, real nice in Orlando. Except for Florida, that is. And if you turn that way, That way what lake is that? I forget the name of that one.
I have no idea.
Okay. And anyway, it's really beautiful. It's 80 degrees. It's nice here. Okay.
Okay. While he's enjoying his meal, we're gonna take a walk through nature. I hope everybody's having a good day today. As you can see in a distance, there's a rich lady, and that guy is her trainer. You see all the balls she's getting over there. I see this all the time. Lots of famous sports celebrities come to Florida to train, and then eventually, once they play tennis tournaments and make money, then they go to the area. They don't necessarily live in this area, but they live nearby. The weather's favorable all the way around, so for somebody that plays tennis, which is like a spring, summertime sport or a warm weather sport, they will find places that have a good weather all the way around. And having a tennis instructor is not cheap, folks. So the park hours have dawn to dusk. At one time, there used to be homeless people that started camping out in the area. And that's one thing these people don't tolerate. They don't like homeless people in their area because it will spoil their property values, and the fact that their taxes will have to go to support them in one way or another. Is this wrong? Yeah, I mean, my view on homeless is there's there's differing opinions on it. I think something can be done, but is something going to be done? No, I don't think so. I think as things get more expensive, it's just, the situation's just going to get worse. So let's continue. It really is a pretty day. Sometimes during the spring and the summer, you'll see people over there. On the weekend especially, you really can't, where we were at, you really can't come here because lots of people are picnicking or having celebrations. So we really don't like to be around other people when we're doing our own thing. So the town of Windermere, if you want to adopt a legacy bench today and create a family tribute for Windermere Centennial, it gives you the guidelines. No, thank you. But yeah, I mean, Windermere really is a nice place. I think I've showed you different parts of it. In any place where, rich folk live, it's desirable. And people live under, many of the residents live under deluded thoughts that because they live on such and such a drive, their property is worth the price they're asking for, and it's not. Because I've seen a lot of properties, we've been looking, and some of them haven't been upgraded, mid-century, lots of mid-century. But the problem is it's not been upgraded since mid-century. So it's really, really horrible. Now, the last time I was here, this is all dry now, but it was boggy before. I mean, it was a boggy area, meaning there's lots of water. So, but this is pretty safe to travel on, and so I figure. Sometimes when I'm filming, I just kind of rush by, and I apologize in advance. I know it makes it frustrating for those who really like to take the time to look at stuff. let's continue. So all this is just a ramp that feeds into a lake. You know, I don't know if this is open water where it will connect to other areas, but the one thing I've found is, and this is one thing we really looked at, was sea craft. They have them in the Caribbean. They have them in South Florida and the Keys, where they can come and they can land in water, and you can dock. They can dock, you know, in places like this and come off and go in their house, change, and then take off again. I've seen that. It was really interesting. I mean, you have to have really money to be able to do something like that. So these are lakefront homes, and you could see mostly pontoon party boats or jet skis. You're not going to see really, well, I take that back. I just noticed this over here. So, see that boat? He's got that stored, but that looks like that's a nice one. And see, you got to be able to afford something like that, because to build and maintain those is a lot of money. And there's only certain people or certain companies that actually create those. And so I know at one time, this area, this was actually made out of just wood. And they've had to go in and they've had to redo this, because this bench went all the way over to the end. So they've just recently cut that off, and they put this fake stuff on it. It's not wood. So they have some type of fake wood, which I think is more durable. And that's new, because they never had that before. But when you live where the rich folk live, you get to enjoy things like this. And it's becoming a reality where there's a big gap. You know, people that earned a decent living could really live a decent lifestyle, and not anymore. Now there's such a big gulf that even if you have nice things, but you're not really in like a wealthy type bracket, you have to be careful what you wear, believe it or not, because it's now where they see you having a nice whatever, and they don't, you're a target for them to get you. So you have to be careful these days. But this is my view, folks. It looks like this is a waterway that really doesn't go anywhere. I'm seeing if I can pan. So it really doesn't go anywhere. There are some lakes that have open waterways where, you know, you can boat and you can go to different towns through the back way, and that's through the water. I've done that before. We did that only one time. It was really a nice experience. I didn't film it. But yeah, it was really cool. We were up in Tavares, and there was this guy that does it every week, and him and his girlfriend. And he had been promising for a year, hey, I'll take you out on the boat. And he finally did. We had a really enjoyable time. You know, we were out for a couple hours and was able to really check things out. But yeah, I didn't capture a lot of that. But yeah, this is where the rich folk live. Well, I hope you enjoy our little tour through Windermere trail. I want to see. I don't know if there's any other trails or not, but let's check it out. I know there's more go to the right, those are sandhill cranes straight ahead. Sandhill cranes, they're gray, and they have kind of like a red bandit type face. They're really cool. They travel in packs, but they're mates. They mate, you know. And the thing is that with the driver, they're a protected species here in Florida. And the thing is that there's people that will deliberately run them down. There was such a case about a month ago where a sandhill crane, they just take their time and walk across the street, and people are just impatient. And one deliberately ran one down, and the other one was a mate. And he died right in the middle of the road. And the heartless people are just running around it, you know, going around it. And the cranes are on the side, you know, making these sounds like they're crying. And you see this, and it really breaks your heart, you know. I'm such an animal lover, and I see people do cruel things to animals. And to have such a disrespect for wildlife speaks of how these people are. And that's not somebody that you would want to be associated with, in my opinion. But let's see if we can get a little close to them. They really are. They don't bother you. They graze. They kind of, you know, they do their own thing. And I just have respect for them because they're just so cool. And let me see. Yeah, they kind of look like a flamingo, but they're sandhill cranes. And I think it's the mother and the father and the baby. And they mate for life. Oh, there's one, two, there's 4 of them. And they will forever be grouped like that. They don't separate, they stay together. It's a little waterway this waterway cuts to different neighborhoods. But so I think, yeah. So this is all part of the park, but then if you look at a distance, that's somebody else's boat. And so they'll back it up on this waterway and go into the open area, which doesn't go anywhere. So it's like, why do you have a big boat and a waterway that really doesn't go to anywhere else? Or they probably take it out like rich folk do. So this is the only other area. There's no, but it is kind of cool. You know, can you imagine like on a summer day, I've seen it where people will bring their portable grills out and they'll play volleyball or t-ball or whatever. But this is the other picnic area. So you can see there's only a few and it's really popular. So it's like kind of like first come, first serve. And I don't think it costs. But you know, it's these cute little recreation areas that's that's well maintained. Speaks of the town where, you know, they take care of their green spaces. Winter Park and Maitland are the same way, and then northern Florida, there's other wealthy enclaves. In South Florida, there's wealthy enclaves that have such things. And where I live at, they're actually building a park. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we'll see. They've just started, so it's going to be probably another year or two before they finish. But this has been around for a long time. And this is just a favorite place where we'll go and we'll grab a meal and just come here during the day when nobody's around and hang out. if I can get close to these sandhills. Well, I'm over here, so they're not gonna. But yeah, there's. Hi, baby. Oh, hi. How are you? Well, hello. And they find, I don't know what they eat, but they find lots of cool things to eat. They don't bother anybody. That one, they're not old. Cause sandhill cranes, they get big. And to me, the first one that you see, he looks like that might be the mother and the father, and the two are the kids, but they're young. And so they just go wherever and they quietly feed and don't bother nobody. There's no alligators here, so nobody's gonna bother them. Don't have to worry about somebody, you know. And so they live in marsh areas, and yeah, but do you see? Yeah. Anyway, folks, thank you for coming along with me, and I appreciate you enjoying nature and all the things that go along with it, the peace and the quiet, and taking the moment to reflect on things. With that, I want to thank you for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next travel adventure. So long for now.
So that over there is Lake Butler. So that's where we're going to plan to buy some property, hopefully next year.
Okay.
Okay.
So I thought I was finished with my video. However, when I came back up, the star of the channel, as my former sidekick is now known by, wanted to go back down here and walk. So we are going for round 2. But I figure including him is always a fun thing.
I'm just wondering what that sign was. That's the Windermere. It tells you exactly what you need to do, what you don't. While you're in the park, they got rules here. They got alligators, and we gotta watch our step.
Oh, please. It
Yes,
ain't that.
we always watch our step here in Florida.
Yes, we do. It's not that bad.
We are trained alligator wrestlers.
No, we're not. Quit
In
being
order to be a Florida resident, you have to be a trained alligator wrestler.
You're a drama queen. Oh my gosh. It really is a pretty day out.
Yeah, in Florida, October's 1 October all the way to end of March. You're looking at always in the 80s.
Oh.
Never, and humidity goes, you know, roughly, it's pretty low from October to March.
That sign looks familiar to you all, since this is round 2. I was telling them about the sandhill cranes. There's 4 of them.
Yeah, I saw them land. They were landing. They landed right in front of me, in fact.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I tried to throw some Kentucky Fried Chicken, but they didn't see it.
You don't give chicken to sandhill cranes,
I
Mike.
know.
That will.
I was just kind of curious if they were going to go there.
No, Mike. They're not going to do something like that. They're gone. I was telling them the story about where we live, the sandhill cranes. There was a whole bunch of them, and one didn't accidentally, but they cruelly ran them over. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I know, that's pretty sad. See, that's the downside with the new generation. They're more about themselves and they don't care about what's around them. So, I mean, our generation from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we cared about everything. Yeah, we cared about, you know, the ecosystems as best as we could. And so unfortunately now everybody today, the young Z's and millennials, the younger millennials, they're only trying to survive, do the best they know how, in a crazy world that's gone mad. probably mad.
I agree. And see, folks, this is why he is just star material. You know, eloquent speaker. You just got it all, don't you?
I guess today, if you want me to be elegant, I could be elegant. What would you like me to talk about?
Eloquent.
Politics? I got a lot about politics,
No,
everybody.
not here. Not here. Not here. It's not appropriate.
You're not gonna know. You're not gonna like what the politics are. I'm gonna juice out.
No, because your politics is not everybody's politics, and that's not what we're about.
Agree. I totally agree.
It's better to just stay off that topic. It's safe not to air your choices because you just never know. It's just not safe anymore.
Yeah. So over there on the left side, they got some little forts made for some of the civilians. I call them civilians still. Some of the homeowners on the lake over there, they build all those little decks out there on the lake, surrounding the whole Butler Lake. And Butler Lake's pretty famous. That's where Elvis Presley used to enjoy skiing.
Yep.
Water skiing here. He did
Yep.
it all the time.
And there was actually a book. The lady that the mother of the lady whose house he stayed in wrote a book, and we met her. And yep, she made a living off of writing a book. But you know, yes, Elvis did stay here.
Yep.
But he did walk this park. I forgot about that.
To be honest with you, Florida is a free state. It's the freest state in the nation. What I mean by free, it's more of the public. The people here, they just want to relax. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to hear about politics, to be honest with you. Real Floridians like myself, I grew up here when I was 13. And next on to you when we were struggling in our early years.
We were poor.
We were poor. Poor. Just like all the poor Z's today, nothing different.
Yep.
That's where my politics come in, but I'm not going to talk about it.
The audience appreciates that.
So as you can see, all the homeowners' houses around the lakes are beautiful on Lake Butler. Beautiful homes. They're all from the 70s, 80s, 90s, built in, some of them in the 50s, early 50s. And they're really built beautiful, the ones in the 50s.
You're not getting a pay raise.
And on the weekends, what happens on the weekends, you have some airplane owners.
I told them about that.
Okay. Yeah, they park their airplanes there and they take off and they land. They do it always on the weekends.
Well, folks, we're gonna sit here for a while. So we're gonna end my sidekicks portion of this video today. So again, thank you for coming along.
It's been nice talking to you all. Have a nice, wonderful day, everybody.